All right. Hello today, people. We're going to go over a brief look into our coaches' backgrounds and histories. Um, that's that's assuming Buster Faulkner actually comes on board instead of just hanging out. I apologize for my microphone problems here. I am having a little bit of problem with that. All right, let's look at the coaching history of John Sumrall. Okay, Sumrall's early coaching history began after his playing days as a linebacker at Kentucky from 2002 to 2004. His first coaching position was as a graduate assistant at Kentucky, where he worked with the defensive staff and contributed to player development. Then he became an assistant coach in University of San Diego from 2007 to 11. He served in various roles, including linebackers coach and co-defensive coordinator. He helped the Toreros maintain a strong defense and contributed to the program's success in the Pioneer Football League. He then moved on to Tulane from 2012 to 2014. At Tulane, Sumrall coached linebackers and served as defensive coordinator again. He played a significant role improving Tulane's defensive metrics and was instrumental in mentoring young players. He then moved on to Troy in 2015 to 17. Sumrall joined Troy as a linebackers coach and assistant head coach. His tenure was marked by defensive improvements and a Sun Belt championship in 2017. After that, he went over to Ole Miss for 2018 season. He spent a season at Ole Miss as a linebackers coach, helping develop SEC level talent and contributing to the Rebels' defensive schemes. He then went back to Kentucky from 2019 to 21. He returned to his alma mater, served as a co-defensive coordinator and inside linebackers coach. His defense was known for its physicality and discipline, and Kentucky enjoyed notable success in the SEC during his tenure. Their defense was pretty darn good during that time. Then he became the head coach at Troy. I seem to be missing something here. Anyway, he was the head coach at Troy from 22 to 24. He was named the head coach at Troy in December of 2021. In his first season, he led the Trojans to a Sun Belt championship and a 12-2 record, earning Sun Belt Coach of the Year honors. His teams were recognized for their stout defense, energy, and discipline. In the 2023 season, Troy continued its performance, further solidifying Sumrall's reputation as one of the rising stars in college football coaching. Then on December 3rd, 2024, John Sumrall became our coach, the Florida Gators head coach, when he was introduced. His philosophy and legacy, he's widely respected for his ability to connect with his players, develop talent, and instill a culture of accountability and toughness. His coaching philosophy emphasizes physical defense fundamentals and team unity. As he steps into the head coaching role at Florida, expectations are high for both immediate improvement and long term success, and that is true. We're hoping he can set things off quick at Florida and keep him around for quite a while. Hopefully, he works out. I'm kind of happy. At first, I was not so happy about us hiring John Sumrall. I wanted Lane like the rest of you out there. I thought he would be awesome as a Florida Gator, but he decided to move on for whatever reason. There's all kinds of rumors out there what happened with that. I don't want to get too in depth with it, but he made a statement that he didn't trust our Scott Strickland, which after he's made his rounds doing the media rounds, I don't know whether I believe him or not, but I'll give him the benefit of the doubt for now. And whatever, we got a new coach, John Sumrall. Hopefully, Sumrall works out and we win lots of games, an SEC championship, and move on to a national championship. To be honest, I don't think we'd have kept Kiffin anyway. I think as soon as the Alabama job opened, he would have jumped ship and took off. Anyway, enough about that. Now let's move on to Brad White. Let's do a little bit, talk about his coaching history. Brad White, his coaching career. He started off, his playing career was in 2000 in Georgia. Wake Forest from 2001 to 2004. He was a linebacker in college. His coaching career, he was at Wake Forest from 2007 to 2008. Murray State in 2009. He was a safeties coach. He was a graduate assistant at Wake Forest, by the way. He was the inside linebackers coach at Air Force from 2010 to 2011. And then he moved on to the Indianapolis Colts from 2012 to 13 for defensive quality control job. Then he moved up to linebackers, assistant linebackers coach in 2014 with the Colts. From 2015 to 17, he was the outside linebackers coach. In 2018, he came back home to Kentucky for outside linebackers. I say home, but that wasn't really his home. 2018, he coached outside linebackers. In 2019 to 25, he was Kentucky's defensive coordinator and outside linebackers coach. Then we hired him at Florida. Let's look at his scheme a little bit. He runs a base defensive 3-4, uses 3 down linemen and 4 linebackers. It provides flexibility to defend both the run and the pass. The scheme allows Kentucky to adjust to various offensive attacks, making it harder for opponents to predict personnel and coverage. He's going to bring that home to Florida now. I like a 3-4 scheme. I think I've said that in an earlier podcast. I don't know if I published it or not, but I'm saying it now. The philosophy and principles is gap integrity. He emphasizes discipline, gap control, ensuring defenders maintain their assignments to prevent explosive plays. He runs multiple fronts. Although the base 3-4, he frequently shifts to a 4-2-5 or even a 2-4-5 look, especially on passing downs to create confusion and mismatches. His schemes prioritize physical play at the line of scrimmage, with defensive linemen tasked to occupy blockers and linebackers responsible for aggressive pursuit. Maybe we can have some linebackers actually get after the quarterback or the run. He disguises his defense, as often shows one look pre-snap and shifts coverage or blitzes post-snap. Makes it difficult for quarterbacks to read the scheme. His coverage schemes, he employs a mix of man and zone coverage, adapting to opponent tendencies and game situations, which means if they're good against the zone, he'll go man to man. If they're bad against the zone, he'll run a zone. Kentucky utilized a cover 3 and cover 2 shells, giving safeties deep responsibility while corners and linebackers covered underneath routes. Let's keep going here. Man coverage in third and long situation or against spread offenses. White isn't afraid to call man-to-man coverage, trusting his defensive backs to win individual matchups. I'm not sure we got the cornerbacks to run too much man right now, but hopefully we can get some in the house and coach them up. The defense sometimes use pattern matching principles where defenders switch from zone to man coverage based on receiver routes. Blitz packages. He runs a lot of creative blitz packages. He frequently sends linebackers and defensive backs on delayed or disguised blitzes, leveraging unpredictability to create pressure. He uses zone blitzes. Linemen may drop into coverage while linebackers or safeties rush the passer, confusing blocking schemes. He'll run simulated pressure too, make them think it. He sometimes shows blitz with multiple defenders, only sending a few and dropping others into coverage, forcing quarterbacks into quick decisions. We got a real coach now, people. We got a defensive coordinator that'll adapt based on what he's shown instead of running the same defense the whole game. He runs a strong run defense. It's a hallmark of White's Kentucky teams. The defensive line anchors the front while linebackers fill gaps aggressively. Safeties are often involved in run support, especially against teams that utilize run pass options, which is pretty much everybody anymore. A lot of teams in the SEC are running RPO, Lane Kiffin especially. White's known for maximizing player strengths and adapting his scheme to available personnel. He rotates players, keep the defense fresh, and his coaching has helped develop NFL caliber talent at Kentucky. He did send quite a few players to the NFL. Here's my conclusion. Brad White's defensive scheme at Kentucky stands out for its adaptability, discipline, and creativity. By blending multiple formation, mixing coverage schemes, and employing inventive blitz packages, White has built a defense capable of stifling high-powered SEC offenses and adjusting to the ever-evolving landscape of football. In my conclusion on Brad White, I think we got a hell of a defensive coordinator, and I look forward to that. I'm over having that same look every game, that whole prevent defensive scheme. I know we might have been lacking some personnel, but I hated that. I like a more aggressive style of defense. I like to blitz. I like to hit the quarterback and off it. And I'm glad to see it. That 3-4 is the most awesome scheme I ever saw. I love it. Steelers used to run it until Tomlin took over. It's what the Steelers were known for. All right. We're going to move on to Buster Faulkner. He hasn't signed as of yet. We're still waiting. Hopefully he gets that done anytime soon. I don't think he's going to take the coaching job that he's been offered. They're pursuing him. The contract we've got with White kind of prevents that. They'd have to buy out a pretty hefty contract to get him. Anyway, let's move on to his scheme a little bit. First, let's get his history. Let's look it up here. I'm sorry, people, but I'm a little slow. I'm a peck typer. I apologize that. His college career, he played 3 years at Valdosta State, He passed for 7,100 yards and 64 touchdowns while helping the team achieve a 47-6 record. His best year at Valdosta State came during his sophomore year, where he completed 327 of 503 passes for 3,941 yards and 44 touchdowns. They liked to throw the ball there, didn't they? He helped the Blazers to a 14-1 record and appearance in the national championship game. He then transferred to Texas A&M Commerce for his senior year. In his lone season with Texas A&M Commerce, he passed for 2,861 yards and 16 touchdowns. He set 10 school records doing that. He then became a student assistant for Valdosta State in 2005. After 1 year at Valdosta State, Faulkner became a graduate assistant at Georgia for the 2006 season. He then returned to Valdosta State as their quarterbacks coach for 1 season, after which he was promoted to their offensive coordinator. He then moved to Central Arkansas for the 2009 season as the team's quarterback coach. Faulkner was hired as offensive coordinator and quarterback coach for Murray State Racers. In 2011, Faulkner was hired by Middle Tennessee. He became the quarterback's coach. Midway through the 2011 season, offensive coordinator Willie Simmons got in some trouble, had to resign, and Faulkner was promoted to offensive coordinator. After 4 seasons with Middle Tennessee State, Faulkner went to Arkansas State, became their offensive coordinator. After 3 years with Arkansas State, Faulkner then became the offensive coordinator and quarterbacks coach at Southern Miss. He stayed there for 1 season. Then he went back to Georgia to be offensive quality control coach for him. He stayed there for 3 years. He won 2 national championships while he was there. Then he was hired by Georgia Tech as their offensive coordinator and tight ends coach, which was 23 to 25. Now, hopefully, we've got him on our staff. I look forward to it. His offenses are explosive. We're going to get into it a little bit and see what kind of scheme he runs. He runs a tempo-based play. They utilized up-tempo pacing to keep defenses off balance and capitalize on mismatches before the defense can adjust. He runs a balanced attack. While his schemes can be pass-heavy, he values balance, though, mixing the run and pass to keep defenses guessing. He runs multiple formations. He likes to run traditional set, spread looks, and creative alignments to exploit defensive weaknesses. His passing game concept is a quick passing game, quick throws, slants, out, and screens to get the ball into playmakers' hands and neutralize the pass rush pressure. He'll also use a vertical threat. It often features vertical routes and deep shots to stretch the field and create explosive plays. Depending on what they give him, he'll take it. He incorporates RPOs to allow the quarterback to read the defense and choose between a run and quick pass based on the defensive alignment. He utilizes tight ends and backs in the passing game. They running routes from multiple alignments to create mismatches. While Faulkner's offensives can be fast-paced and pass-oriented, the running game is a critical component. He uses zone and gap schemes. The use of both zone inside, outside, and gap power counter blocking schemes provide versatility and unpredictability. He uses motion and misdirection. Pre-snap motion and misdirection plays are utilized to confuse defenses and open the running lanes. Quarterback runs, depending on personnel, design quarterback runs and options are occasionally used, which is what he ran at Georgia Tech mostly because he didn't have a good passing quarterback. He's known to be adaptable. His offenses are tailored to fit the strengths of the players, whether that means emphasizing the passing game with a strong quarterback receiver combo or leaning on the running game with a talented backfield. Weekly game plans often feature new wrinkles and adjustments based on the upcoming opponent's defensive tendencies. Buster Faulkner's offensive schemes are characterized by the high tempo, balanced creativity, and adaptability. He blends traditional concepts with modern innovation, has made offenses effective and difficult to defend. Other coaches and analysts alike study his schemes for inspiration in designing high scoring attacks. I can't wait to get him on board. I can't wait for next year. I'm excited, people. I'm excited for next year. Now, a little bit about our podcast here. My name's Tommy. I'm a lifelong Gator fan. I've been a Gator fan since I could remember. I could barely walk the first time my grandpa and me watched a game. I look forward to getting to know y'all a little better out there. I'm still exploring. I'm still getting my podcast up and rolling properly. And I hope to have guests in the future. It's a lot funner to talk to other people than just me blathering on. You might see my doggies in the background once in a while when I run a live screen. They like to visit me here in my office. Anyway, I look forward to seeing all y'all in the future. And I would really appreciate y'all liking and subscribing. It would help out a lot for that. We need all the likes and subscribes I can get. I'm going to tell you right now, it's going to be tough starting out a new podcast here. People don't usually click subscribe and like. You're not going to get bombarded with emails. I'm not going to email you constantly and stuff unless you drop me an email, say hello. I'll probably respond to it. Anyway, it was nice meeting y'all. And y'all have a good day out there.